ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ नवमोऽध्यायः राजविद्या राजगुह्ययोगः। Today we will revise all the shlokas of chapter 9 one by one, and then we will do also a very brief summary at the very end to see what shlokas map to what concepts. So first in chapter 9, Krishna starts the dialogue himself. He starts to talk and he talks about the jnana itself. He does the stuti of the jnana. So the first three shlokas are jnana stuti. So in this chapter, I said that three main topics will be covered. One is the Ishvara Swarupam or the nature of the Ishvara. And second is the bhakti or the upasana. That topic will be covered. And the third is the Ishvara Anugraham or the grace of Ishvara. So we will see what shlokas relate to what. So first shloka number 1. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam Tute Guhyatamam Pravakshyamyanasuyave Jnanam Vijnana Sahitam Yajñātvā mokṣyase shubhat. Bhagavan Vacha, Shri Krishna starts to speak, Idam tute guhyatamam. So, Arjuna, I am going to give you this guhyatamam, the one which is most confidential, this knowledge to you, Pravakshyami anasuyave. Pravakshyami, I will impart to you anasuyave, because you are the one who doesn't complain. The general meaning is given, it is non-envious. He has got good qualities. He doesn't complain about things. So to such a person, that's why you are qualified, O Arjuna. To you, I will impart this knowledge. Jnanam vijnana sahitam. Jnanam is the knowledge along with the realization of the knowledge. Vijnanam is the realization of the knowledge. Sahitam, along with that, yajna atva mokshasya ashubhat, where you will be relieved from this material existence, this ashubhat, this material existence, knowing which you will be relieved. So I will impart this knowledge to you. Like that he started. So the general translation was, the Supreme Lord said, O Arjuna, because you are the one who doesn't cavil, I shall now impart to you this very confidential knowledge, combined with the experience of the knowledge, upon knowing which you will be released from the miseries of material existence. Like that he started. Then shloka number 2. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramidamuttamam Pratyakshaavagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartumavyayam. So here he gave 7 qualities for this jnana. He first described it as Rajavidya, that it is the king of all sciences. Paravidya, also another term will be used, that it is whatever is about the Brahman, the real existence, is this Paravidya, and Aparavidya will be all the other material sciences. So that kind of a Rajavidya it is, the king of all these learnings. And then Rajaguhyam, it is a very profound secret. It is also a great mystery. Not everybody will understand it. And Pavitram Idam Uttamam, it is the highest purifier of all. Pratyaksha Agavamam, that means it is directly perceptible and it will be realizable. The palan of the jnana, which will be the total peace and the bliss, will be directly realizable. Dharmya, it is also virtuous. It is abiding by the rules. And Susukam Kartum, it is also easy. Don't think it is so difficult. It is easy only if you follow the right instructions. It is easy. Kartum Avyayam, it is also everlasting. You don't have to keep again and again trying for it. Once you reach it, that's it. So it is Avyayam. The effect of it is also everlasting. It is something which is also everlasting. The goal is also everlasting, like that he said. So the general translation was, this knowledge is the king of sciences and the most profound of all secrets. It is the best purifier. Those who hear it, it is directly realizable and in accordance with Dharma. It is easy to practice and it has an everlasting effect. Shloka 3, he talks about the Shraddha Mahima and the Samsara Swarupam all together in Shloka number 3. Ashraddhadhanaः Purushaः Dharmasyasya Parantapa aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartmani. So here he says that people who do not have this Shraddha or the faith, in chapter 4 we said Shraddhavan labate jnanam. So the one who has faith, because the faith is a precursor to this knowledge. If you didn't have the faith, you will not get to the knowledge. So Ashraddhadanaha Purushaha. So those people who do not have the faith, Dharmasyasya Parantapa, Asya Dharmasya. In this, there are three things we saw. Either you don't have faith in the Jnana Swarupam, which is the Advaita Jnanam itself, you don't believe in it, and Jnana Sadhana, which is you don't have belief in the Guru or the Upanishad, or Jnana Pala, you don't have the belief in the result of the Jnana. Either of this, you don't have the faith. So the person who is such, what happens is aprapyamam, they will not reach me, and nivartante, he will keep coming back, mrityu samsara vartmani. So he will keep coming back to this material existence and death. In this path, he will keep revolving, like that he said. So the general translation was, people who have no faith in this dharma are unable to attain me. O Arjuna, they repeatedly come back to this world in this cycle of birth and death. So that was Shloka 3. Shloka 4. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyaktamurtina matsthani sarvabhutani nachaham teshvavasthitah. In Shlokas 4 to 10, he is giving the Ishvara Jnana Swarupam. He is talking about the whole truth. 4 and 5 shlokas, it contains the entire philosophy. So what did he say? Maya tatamidam sarvam. I pervade this entire jagat, cosmic manifestation, as what? Avyakta murtina. Actually, my real form is formless. It is Nirguna Brahman. I am pervading like this, because when you encapsulate anything into a shape or form, it will not be all pervading. It will be limited in space and time. So no, I am not like that. I am beyond that. Avyakta murtina matstani sarvabhutani. All the beings are in me, meaning they are all dependent on me, because I am the creator. And nachaham teshvu avastitaha. But I do not depend on them. I am not dwelling in them, meaning I do not depend on them. Like that he said. All of them depend on me. I do not depend on them. Like that he said in shloka number 4. So the general translation was, this entire cosmic manifestation is pervaded by me in my unmanifest form. All living beings dwell in me, but I do not dwell in them. And then shloka number 5. Nacha matsthani bhutani pashya me yogamaishwaram bhuta bhrinna cha bhutastha mamatma bhuta bhavanah. So he said that in the previous last phrase, he said matstani sarvabhutani. Here he is saying nacha matstani bhutani. So there is a contradiction, for which we explained that in the way he is explaining it, he says that nacha matstani bhutani, okay, all the beings are dependent on me, but actually they are not dependent on me. They do not dwell in me. Why? Pashyame yogameshwaram. It is all only a kind of a maya. Yogameshwaram is because of my divine energy, I'm projecting everything. Actually, in reality, it appears as though they are dependent on me, but actually that also is not the truth, because it is all a play of this maya, like that he said. And then bhuta brinnacha bhutastaha mamatma bhuta bhavanah. So he goes to explain himself as this Ishvara, this Saguna Brahman that we are talking about. So he says that he is a creator, right? This Ishvara. So he says that I am the sustainer of all the living beings. And bhutastaha, I live in all the beings, and bhuta bhavana, I am also the creator of the beings. But what he wants to say is, I am not influenced by anything. He will continue that I am udasinavat, as though I am neutral. I do everything, yet I am not attached to anything. Like that he wants to continue. So like that he said, this is me, who is a creator, who is a sustainer, and who is also existing in all the living beings. Like that he said. So general translation is, and yet the living beings do not abide in me. Behold the mystery of my divine energy. Although I am the creator and sustainer of all living beings, I am not influenced by them or by material nature. Shloka 6. यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं वायुः सर्वत्र गो महान् तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानीत्युपधारय. So he wants to give some examples of how he is remaining detached. He wants to talk about asangatvam, about non-attachment. So he says, how he gives the example, yatha akasha sthitaha nityam. So just like the space is there on which vayuhu sarvatra gaha mahan. So this mighty vayu is resting on the space. But is it attached? It doesn't attach itself. So tatha, likewise, sarvani bhutani, all these living beings, matsthani iti upadaraya. Know that all the living beings are resting in me, but there is no attachment. Actually, there is no attachment. They are just resting in me. Like that, he made the point. So the general translation was, know that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere, rest always in the space. Likewise, all living beings rest in me always. Then shloka number 7. Sarvabhutani kaunteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshaye punastani kalpadau visrujamyaham. So here he talks about the avyakta and the vyakta form. The avyakta meaning the unmanifest and the vyakta meaning the manifest form. So what happens is sarva bhutani kaunteya, O Arjuna, all these beings prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshaye. Kalpakshaye, what happens is they merge into me. Yanti means merge into prakriti, my material nature. So they merge into me, and kalpado, at the beginning of the kalpa, tani punaha aham visrajami. So what happens is at the beginning, I will bring them into manifestation. At the end of the kalpa, I will absorb them. They will merge into this material energy. Like that, he is saying. So this is what is happening, and I am the source of all these things. So know that there is one Ishvara, which is the cause of all these manifestation and unmanifestation. So general translation is, at the end of the kalpa, all living beings merge into my material energy. At the beginning of the next creation, O son of Kunti, I manifest them again. So shloka number 7 that was. Shloka number 8. Prakritim swamavashtabhya visrajami punah punah bhutagramamimam kritsnam avasham prakritervashat. So what he wants to talk about here is the helplessness of these beings which are coming forth again and again into manifestation. Prakritim swam avashtabhya. I'm actually the presiding entity. Just I am present. Like we gave the example of how the boss, when he is there, all the subordinates will work. Like that, he just exists, and then punaha punaha bhuta gramam imam kritsnam avasham prakritehe vashat. So again and again, all these beings, kritsnam, all of them, avasham, beyond their control. Why? Forced by their own natures. They are coming forth again and again. So what is the nature of the human being? Based on the nature, we act. Based on the action, we get the papas and the punyas. Based on the papa and punya, we get the body. Then we come forth. Again, our nature takes hold of us. Again, we do things and we accumulate papa and punya, and again we come forth. So that is what he is telling here, that avasham, helplessly, you think you are so superior. No, you are helplessly coming into existence. Like that he is saying. So presiding over my material energy, I generate these forms again and again in accordance with the force of their natures. Shloka number 9. Nacha mam tani karmani nibadhanti dhananjaya udasina vadasinam asaktam teshu karmasu. So here he says that I am the karta, but I am not the bhokta. Like there is a rule that if you are doing something, you must enjoy the fruits of it. No. He says that there is an exception. You don't need to necessarily enjoy the fruits of it, whether it's papa or punya. When you get this knowledge that of your true self, then at that time you will be relieved of all your papas and punyas, and your account, karmic account, will be wiped out. So that's what he's saying here, because he knows himself as the Brahman. So because of that, the karmas do not bind him. Nachamam tani karmani. So these karmani, tani, those karmani, nibadnanti dhananjaya. They do not, na, the word is there. So na nibadnanti dhananjaya. So they do not bind me. They do not bind me, O Arjuna. Udasinavat asinam. I am situated as though neutral. I am doing everything, but how am I situated? As though I am neutral. Asaktam teshu karmasu. I am as though I am appearing detached from all the actions, but I am still performing the actions. So the examples we have to take is that you can be detached, even though you are performing all the actions, you can be detached to the actions at the Karma Yoga stage. After that, you get the knowledge of who you are, then automatically that detachment will come. So the general translation is, O conqueror of wealth, none of these actions bind me. I remain like a neutral observer, ever detached from these actions. Shloka number 10. Mayadhyakshena prakritihi suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagadviparivartate. So here he says again, Maya Adhyakshena Prakritihi. Here he is talking as though he is the Nirguna Brahman. Chapter 7, Chapter 9, Saguna and Nirguna Brahman will be described interchangeably. So here as a Nirguna Brahman, he is just there. Suyate Sacharacharam. Because of that, the world, it just Suyate, it brings into being this Chara Acharam, the animate and the inanimate objects. Hetuna anena kaunteya. So I am the reason, O Arjuna, Jagat viparivartate, that the world undergoes the changes. I am the cause because of the Maya. Then the world undergoes all these changes. Like that he says, but I am the one who is just like a witness. I am the intelligent cause. We have seen that before. The Karyam is the world. Then we saw that there is one Savikara Karanam, which means that is a Maya, which will change. But there is a Nirvikara Karanam, which means the intelligent cause of the Maya, which will never change. So these are the three things always will be described. So working under my direction, this material energy brings into being all animate and inanimate forms, O son of Kunti. For this reason, the material world undergoes the changes of creation, maintenance, and dissolution. Then shloka number 11. Avajananti mam mudhaha manushim tanumashritam param bhavamajanantah mama bhuta maheshwaram. So here he says that people do not understand me properly. They also talk wrong about me. What are you saying about you? About me also they talk wrong. And they dishonor me. They think I'm a human being. Sometimes they do not acknowledge my existence. Sometimes they say that this God hasn't given me the fruits. Like that also they dishonor me. Sometimes they say this God has only shape and form. They do not know my superior nature, which is this Nirguna Brahma. Like that also they insult me without knowing the truth. So they think that even when I'm coming as an avatara, they think I'm a normal human being, but I'm actually an avatara. And above that, the avatara, I am this Nirguna Brahman, which has taken this form. I've come into this world so that people will know their true nature. For that only, and to protect the good and to eliminate the bad, like that I'm taking these avatars, but people do not know me because they think I'm only one person. The general translation is, when I descend in my personal form, deluded persons are unable to recognize me. They do not know my personality as a supreme lord of all beings. Shloka number 12. Mogha mogha karmanah मोघज्ञानाविचेतसः राक्षसीमासुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं श्रिताः. So he is talking here about the samsaris or the abhaktas. Abhaktas are people, first of all, they do not recognize God. like those people, and some people who are recognizing God also, but what do they have these qualities? Moga Shaha. They will have vain hopes. The hopes are all in material things only. I want a house, my children should be like this, like that, all those small, small things only their hopes are attached to. And moga karmana. Therefore, what will happen is because your goals are very small, you will also be doing vain actions, like going only towards those things. You will not know what is your true nature and what your actual goal should be in life. You will be pursuing very limited things in life. And moga jnana, because of the limited knowledge you have. Only when you read the scriptures, your knowledge will broaden. Say, okay, this is said in the scriptures, this is how we have to conduct our lives. Like that, our vision will expand. Till then, what will happen? We'll think what we are doing is right and we'll keep continuing. So, for that expansion only, we have to involve in such things. So, they will have limited knowledge. Vichetasaha, these are all deluded people. That is, they are deluded in this. They don't know what is dharma, adharma, and most importantly, they do not know the difference between nitya and anitya vastu, or the nitya and anitya jnana. What is permanent, what is impermanent? That also, that knowledge they do not have because they have never read these scriptures. And then these are also Rakshasi Masuri. Rakshasi meaning people who are predominantly in Rajas. I want to do this, I have to go there, I have to be this person, like that, putting your energy in all these material things. And then Asuri, or they will be very lazy, they will be deluded, ignorant people. Like that also, these people are Prakriti Mohinim Shritaha. So they are being deluded by this world. Like they think that this is everything. Like that, these people conduct their lives. So don't be like that, Arjuna. Krishna is giving the advice that don't be in vain hopes and be doing vain actions, having little knowledge. Don't be such a person. That is, you should pick yourself at least to the guna of sattva. From there you will cross that too. So, bewildered by this material energy, such persons embrace demonic views. In that deluded state, their hopes for welfare are in vain. Their fruitive actions are wasted, and their culture of knowledge is baffled. So that was Shloka 12. Shloka number 13. Mahatmanastu mam partha daivim prakritimashritah bhajantyananya manasah jnatva bhutadimavyayam. On contrary, he is talking about the bhaktas. So how they are Mahatmas. They are Mahatmas, meaning they have a very broad mind. Mam Partha, Daivim Prakriti Mashritaha. What do these people do? They take the shelter of divine things, divine energy. What are their goals in life? Like they want to develop divine qualities. Like what? Shama, Dama, Daya, all those qualities they want to develop in themselves. They take shelter in those qualities. Bhajanti Ananya Manasaha, along with exclusive devotion, that is not thinking of anything else, knowing that this is only the goal of the life. Like that, they lead their lives. Jnatva bhutadim avyayam. They also know me to be imperishable, and that to be the imperishable goal of their life. So, like that, they are conducting their lives, and these are the bhaktas, like that, he says. But the great souls who take shelter of my divine energy, O Arjuna, know me as the origin of all creation. They engage in my devotion with their minds fixed exclusively on me. Shloka number 40. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhavrataah namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. So these people are what? He gave the quality yatantaha. Yatantaha means these people are always striving. They are not sitting for Ishvara to grace them with bhakti, or Ishvara to give them a guru, or Ishvara to give them the spiritual mindset. They are striving. They are putting their 100% efforts in this direction. Dridhavrataha. They are people with great determination, very, very strong in their belief that this is the right path. And then Satatam, so always they are Kirtayantaha. They are singing the divine glories. They are talking about this subject. Always they are exchanging all these thoughts only. And then namasyantaha, they are also surrendering to God, knowing that God is doing everything for their best. Like that, they have removed their ego. And nitya yuktaha, they are always united in me as the goal. Constantly fix their mind on this goal. Like that, they are leading their lives. He describes the bhaktas. This is the bhakta lakshanam that we can imbibe. Shlokas give us a clue about what are the qualities we need to develop. So, the general translation is always talking about my divine glories, striving with great determination, and humbly bowing down before me, they constantly worship me. So, that was Bhakta Lakshana. Shloka number 15. ज्ञानयज्ञेन चाप्यन्ये यजन्तो मामुपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्. So here he talks about the various ways in which people do bhakti. So jnana yajnana, people think that jnana and bhakti are totally different things, which is totally wrong. If you have the jnana, you will do more bhakti because you know the true nature of God. Like if you know somebody very nicely, you know their likes and dislikes, all those knowledge if you have, what is that person, then you will be more bonded with that person. Like that, they will cultivate the knowledge of who God is. And there are three ways of worship, which is always talked about. Is first is they will have a Ishtadevata, that they have their favorite god. That is how you first fix your mind. You take your mind away from the samsara, worldly things. Instead of watching a movie, instead of going here and there, you say, okay, I will do puja to this god like that, or I'll sing praises, or I'll do chanting. So that is one way to remove yourself. That is the first stage. So Prithaktvena means they are doing this kind of a bhakti. They have the Ishtadevata. And then after that, what is it? Is elevate yourself and see everything as God, everything in this universe. So in chapter 10 and 11, mainly it is for meditation and contemplation. How God exists in these various forms. Like that, for that purpose only he has talked about the vibhutis and Ishwarupa and all that. So Vishwatomukam, every aspect of this world you see as God. And after that is Ekatvena, means undifferentiated oneness. There is no bhakta, there is no God. Like know the true nature of yourself. If when you do this devotion in undifferentiated oneness, that is the highest state, that is called the Advaita Bhakti. So, but initially we are not able to do it, so we do it in stages. So the general translation is others engaging in cultivation of knowledge worship me. Some see me as undifferentiated oneness, that is non-different from them, while others see me separate from them. Still others worship me in these infinite manifestations of my cosmic form. Okay, shloka number 16. 16 to 17 together we'll read. Aham kraturaham yajnah swadhahamaham mantrohamahame ahamagniraham hutam pitahamasya jagatah mata dhata pitamahah vedyam pavitramomkarah riksamaya jurevacha. So here he is talking about the vibhuti or the powers. 10th chapter full we are going to see about his powers, where he will describe everything in the world. Why he describes the vibhuti, we will see in 10th chapter. What is the importance of describing his vibhutis? But for now, we'll take it as he is describing about his powers. He says that I am the kratuhu, Vedic karmas, and I am the yajnaha, which is the smartha karma. That also I am. Swadha, I am the oblation to the pitrus. Aushadam, I am also the medicinal herb and also the food. And I am also the mantra. I am the Vedic mantra. I am the ajya. I am the clarified butter and agnihi. I am also the fire and I am also hutam. I am also the act of offering. So we have seen earlier Brahmarpanam Brahmahavihi Agno Brahmana Hutam. There he said that everything is a Brahman. Person who is giving is also the Brahman. The fire is also the Brahman. The act of offering is the Brahman. Everything is a Brahman. That knowledge that you are the Brahman will come in the very end. Steps are being followed, but this is what he is saying. I am only everything. Pita, I am also the father. I am the intelligent cause. And Mata, I am the mother, which is a material cause. Dhata, so who is the father of the father? No father. So I am also the grandsire, Pitamaha. And Dhata, I am the sustainer, or I am the person who gives the karma phala. Karma phala based on what? Your own actions only. But he is the giver of your karma phala. And then Vedyam, I am the one which is to be known, or the goal which is to be known. And Pavitram, I am the purifier. Omkaraha, I am the sacred syllable, Om. And then I am also the Rik Sama Yajuhu Yevacha. I am also the Rig Veda, the Sama Veda, and the Yajur Veda. Like that he says. So he talks about his powers. The general translation is, it is I who am the Vedic ritual. I am the sacrifice and I am the oblation offered to the ancestors. I am the medicinal herb and I am the Vedic mantra. I am the clarified butter. I am the fire, the act of offering. Of this universe, I am the father. I am also the mother, the sustainer, and the grandsire. I am the purifier, the goal of knowledge, the sacred syllable Om. I am the Rig Veda, the Samaveda, and the Yajur Veda. Shloka number 80. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Suhrit Prabhavav Pralayasthanam Nidhanam Bijamavyayam. So he continues to talk about his powers. Here he says, Gatihi, I am the supreme goal or the Purushartha of the life, of everyone's life. Bharta, I am the sustainer and I am the protector. I am also the supporter. Prabhu, I am the master. Sakshi, I am the witness. Nivasaha, I am the rest house or the abode. Sharanam, I am the place of shelter. Suhrit, I am also the good friend. Like inside the body, there is somebody who is giving instructions for the well-being of you. He is the friend existing in you yourself. And Prabhavaha Pralaya Sthana. I am the Prabhavaha means the origin, Pralayaha means dissolution, Sthana means repository. Nidhanam. Nidhanam means also the repository or the resting place also can be taken. And Bijam Avyayam. Bijam Avyayam only had a different kind of explanation in which we said that we are talking about the Samsara Bijam. The samsara will go on like continuously till it is broken, till the goal of this is reached. So again you do karma, again you will get papa punya, and again you are going to be born. So they're talking about the samsara bija. Yeah. In some interpretation, it's also described as the eternal seed. I am the eternal seed. Like that explanation is also given. So the general translation is, I am the supreme goal of all living beings. I am also their sustainer, master, witness, abode, shelter, and friend. I am the origin, end, and the resting place of the creation. I am the repository and the eternal seed. Shloka number 19. Tapamyahamaham varsham nigrinham yutsrujami cha amritam chaiva mrityuscha sadasachaham arjuna. So tapami, he says that I am the cause for everything. Tapami, I radiate the energy, and varsham, this is the rain. Nigrinami, I withhold the rain, I give the rain, because he's talking about the cycle where from rain only the food will be grown. Because of the food only the human beings and other creatures are sustained, like that. So he is the one who is the cause of everything. And amritam cha eva mrityuhu cha, I am the immortality of the devas and I am the mrityu of the humans. I am only all these things. Cha sat asat cha aham arjuna. So here sat and asat have different connotations again. Sat is referring to the karyam or the jagat, and asat is referring to the karanam or the unmanifested form, cannot be seen. That is referred to here as asat. So it is not that sat and asat, the truth and the untruth, that is usually described. This has a different connotation. That sat describes the karyam, which is the jagat, and asat is the karana. in the unmanifestation is referred to as asat. I radiate heat as the sun, and I withhold as well as send forth rain. I am immortality as well as death. O Arjuna, I am the spirit as well as matter. Shloka number 20. Traividya mam somapah putapapah yajnairištva swargatim prarthayante te punyamasadya surendralokam ashnanti divyan divideva bhogan. So here 20 and 21 is talking about the gati of the Sakama Bhaktas. We know that what is Sakama Bhakti is having a desire in mind and worshipping gods, even devatas like that, or worshipping God with a desire in mind. So he is describing about these kind of people who do the Vedic rituals for a gain. Traividyaha mam somapaha putapapaha. So the people who are following the Karmakanda portion of the Vedas, what they do is somapaha. Somapaha means they drink the soma juice. That is, they have done the soma sacrifice. Putapapaha, their sins have been purified, because when you do such sacrifices, when you do such yajnas, your mind gets purified. Therefore, you get punya. Yajnairishtva swargatim prarthayante. So what do they seek? What do they prarthayante means they seek. Why they are doing the sacrifice is what? Swargatim. They want the heaven, or even they want material things in this world. Te punyam asadya surendra lokam. Then they get the punya, and then they go to the Sura Indra Lokam, which is abode of the Devas, and Ashnanti Divya. So they will enjoy all these things. Divideva Bhogan. So all these bhogas and all these pleasures, they will go there and enjoy as a result of all their yajnas. Like that he is telling. And he wants to tell Arjuna that this is Sakama Bhakti. It is not against the religion, but there is a limitation to this, that you will keep coming back. That's what he wants to say to Arjuna. So, general translation is, those who are inclined to fruitive activity described in the Vedas worship me through ritualistic sacrifices. Being purified from sin by drinking the soma juice, which is a remnant of the yajnas, they seek to go to heaven. By virtue of their pious deeds, they go to the abode of Indra, the king of heaven, and enjoy the pleasures of the celestial gods. Then he continues, Shloka number 21. Te tam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam क्षीणे पुण्ये मर्त्यलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रयी धर्ममनुप्रपन्नाः गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते. So here he says, Tetam bhuktva, having enjoyed, bhuktva, swargalokam vishalam, this vast heaven filled with all the bhogas, kshine punya, exhausted, kshine, there will be exhaustion of their punya, the merits. Matya lokam vishanti, they come back to this earthly plane. Vishanti, they will return. Evam trayi dharmam anuprapannaha. So who are these people he is talking about? Trayi dharmam, that is the ritualistic portion of the Vedas that they are following. Anuprapannaha, gata agatam, kama kamaha labante. Gata agatam means they will go and they will come back. At intermediate time, there will be a lot of pleasure, but they have to come back to this world again. And kama kamaha, these are the people who are seeking the enjoyments. So it can apply in this world also. With the desire, you are worshipping God, you want material things, but there will be an end. In between, there will be like bursts of happiness, but then that will go. And so this is not a permanent solution, like that he's saying. A general translation is, when they've enjoyed the vast pleasures of heaven, the stock of their merits being exhausted, they return to the earthly plane. Thus, those who follow the Vedic rituals, desiring objects of enjoyment, repeatedly come and go in this world. And 22. Ananyaschintayanto mam ye janah paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. So here he starts to talk about the Nishkama Bhaktas, and he gives a promise to the Nishkama Bhaktas. He says, Ananyaha chintayantaha mam. So the person who thinks of me always without any division. So Ananyaha has several meanings. One level is you know that God is the goal of my life. Second step, you go further, take God as an instrument and try to reach the goal of the God. The final stage is that there is no division between God, you, and the instrument. That is the Advaita, the Ananya Bhakti that we talk about. That once you realize that there is no division, then you have reached the highest point. And so these are Janaha Paryupasate. They worship exclusively me. Tesham Nitya. To these people, what he gives is Nitya Abhiyuktana. So the person who is always absorbed in such a way, Yoga Kshemam. Yoga means he will supply the assets, and Kshemam means he will preserve the assets. Aham Bahami. I will carry. Literally, I will carry for them all these requirements. Only the condition is that they have to be completely absorbed in me. And even if those things don't come, that person will say it is okay. Like that, he is removed his ego. So for those people, truly the help will come. And the other interpretation that we saw was that to a person who's constantly absorbed in me, I will give the jnana. Jnana, he will give through some means. He will give through a guru, he will give all the means to get the jnana. And kshema means jnana nishta. He will also provide the means so that you can be established in this jnana. So that is also an interpretation. Jnana and jnana nishta for yoga and kshemam respectively. So the general translation is, there are those who always think of me and engage in exclusive devotion to me. To them whose minds are always absorbed in me, I provide what they lack and preserve what they already possess. So shloka number 23. येऽप्यन्यदेवता भक्ताः यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय yajantya-vidhi-purvakam. This is talking about the Ajnana Bhakti. People think that there are gods, they have certain powers, that is the highest. But they do not know that there is the Supreme Ishvara from where all the gods are also getting their powers. And they do not know the truth about Ishvara, what he is. But ignorantly they are worshipping. But they are worshipping with devotion nevertheless. But he says Avidhi Purvakam means what? Without knowledge. Without knowledge, they are just worshipping. It is just one part of the activity. But the knowledge is important, like that he is saying here. So, ye api anya devata bhaktaha. Anya devata, other celestial gods, bhaktaha, they yajante, they will worship. Shraddhayanvitaha, faithfully they worship. Api maam eva kaunteya, that is only me, O Arjuna. Yajanti avidhi purvakam, they are only worshipping me because all these powers only I have given. And avidhi purvakam, by the wrong method, by what? Ignorance, like that he is saying. So, O son of Kunti, even those devotees who faithfully worship other gods also worship me, but do so by the wrong method. Shloka number 24. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha na tu mam abhijananti tatvena tasya vantite. So here he says that all these powers are belonging to Ishvara only. Aham hi sarva yajnana bhokta. I am the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. Basically meaning everything is coming to me only. Indirectly it is coming to me. I am the Lord, Prabhu evacha. Natu mam abhijananti. But they do not realize. What they do not realize? Tattvena. The divine nature they do not know. Ataha chyavanti te. So as a result of it is they fall down. Fall down from what? The spiritual path. They are doing something nevertheless, but they are not progressing. Why? Because of their ignorance. Because they do not know that there is one Ishvara only who is the cause of all these things. Like that is saying. So I am the enjoyer and the only Lord of all sacrifices. But those who fail to realize my nature must be reborn. Shloka number 25. Yanti devavrata devan pitrun yanti pitruvrataha bhutani yanti bhutejyaha yanti madhyajinopi mam. Here he says that everything is happening only through intent. Your intent is the cause for all your actions. What is the intent? Devavrataha. So people who are worshipping the celestial god will reach the celestial gods. People Pitran yanti Pitruvrataha. So the worshippers of the ancestors will go to the Pitrus. They'll go to the ancestors. Bhutani yanti Bhutejaha. Bhutejaha, the worshipper of the ghosts, will only get such forms and they will go to the ghosts as well. But yanti mat yajinaha apimam. So those who worship me will reach me alone. So what he's saying is your intent should not be towards a small goal. Your intent should be towards the highest goal. So worshippers of the celestial gods take birth among the celestial gods. Worshippers of the ancestors go to the ancestors. Worshippers of the ghosts take birth among such beings. And my devotees come to me alone. Shloka number 26. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyupahritam ashnami prayatatmanah. It is talking about the Nishkama Bhakti Prakaranam. That is the way in which the Nishkama Bhaktas do the Bhakti. The qualities of Nishkama Bhakti we saw. It is Suharaganam. It is actually easy. And there is no reverse effect. There is no reverse effect at all in Nishkama Bhakti. That something bad will happen to you. That will never happen. He promises. So the question was, is Bhakti attitude or action? So first, definitely Bhakti is attitude. But if you didn't have the attitude, you must do the actions to develop that attitude. That is why we say you must go to the temple. You must do these pujas. Why? Because that attitude is not there yet. If the attitude fully has developed in you, you don't need to do any of these things. But you should realize where you are and then act accordingly. So it's not like one shoe size fits all approach. So if you didn't have the attitude, then the action must come. That patram pushpam phalam toyam. So whatever is there, the simple things like patram, the leaf, the pushpa, the flower, the phalam, the fruit, toyam, the water, all these easily available things, Yome bhaktya prayachiti. This devotee, if he offers to me with a simple mind, with devotion, with thinking of me alone, then I will partake that, he says. Tataham bhakti upahritam. Upahritam means offered. With devotion, ashnami, I will partake prayatatmanaha. Prayatatmanaha means one with a very pure mind. So if your mind is very pure, then the object may be very small, then he will take it. But if your mind is not pure, then you must cultivate. By maybe you have like a stinginess, you don't want to give. Then you must cultivate, like going to a temple, giving lots of money, giving lots of things to the temple. Like that, you must develop. Why? Because you don't have the attitude, you don't have the pure mind. So that is only talked about here. So if one offers to me with devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or even water, I delightfully partake of that item offered with love by my devotee with a pure mind. Shloka number 27. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. So we said that it is Suharadanam, right? It is easy, very easy. He's saying here in the shloka, whatever you do, that only you offer to me. There is nothing extra you need to do. Yat karoshi. But our thoughts are only revolved about the world and the material things. Our thoughts daily, our activities are not aligned with God. So that is a problem there. So he says that yat karoshi, whatever you do, yad ashnasi, whatever you eat, yajjuhoshi, whatever you offer in the sacred fire, dadasyat, whatever you give as a gift, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, whatever austerities you perform, O Arjuna, tat kurushva madarpanam. So do this as an offering to me. But we saw that madarpanam itself, it has got a very deep meaning. It depends on the stage you are in. Again, one shoe size does not fit all. Based on where you are, madarpanam may mean giving away the surrendering the results, renunciation of the results. That will be in your karma yoga stage. That I do not want the results. I am doing everything for Ishvara. Maybe after that you progress in bhakti. Then what do you do? This mamakaram you leave. Oh, this is mine. This is mine. Like that you leave and say this is God's. So you will renounce your mindness. Then the highest stage is to renounce your I-ness. I-ness means your wrong association with your body mind. So when you renounce that ahanta, you say, that is the highest. So every stage, madarpanam means something else, but you have to give, not take. Nowhere it is said that if you get this, you will. No, it is always said if you leave this, you will progress. Like that only has been said. So, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as oblation to the sacred fire, whatever you bestow as a gift, and whatever austerities you perform, O son of Kunti, do them as an offering to me. Shloka number 28. शुभाशुभफलैरेवं मोक्ष्यसे कर्मबन्धनैः सन्न्यासयोगयुक्तात्मा विमुक्तो मामुपैष्यसि. Here he is talking about the Nishkama Bhakti Palam, which is the Jivan Mukti, and as a consequence of that, Videha Mukti. Jivan Mukti means in this lifetime, here and now, you got the liberation. And because of that, you will not get another birth. So that's what he's talking here. Shubha Shubha Palaihi. So from good and bad results, Evam Moksha say, you will be freed. Karma Bandhanehi, you will be freed from the bondage of karma. Sannyasa Yoga Yukta Atma, the one who is in the practice of this renunciation, Yukta Atma, whose mind is attached to me, Vimuktaha Mam Upaishyasi. When you do all these things, you will definitely reach me, O Arjuna. Shloka number 29. Samoham sarvabhuteshu न मे द्वेष्योऽस्ति न प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयि ते तेषु चाप्यहम्. So here he says that samoham sarvabhuteshu, I am only equal to everybody. I don't have anybody who is dear, I don't have anybody who is close to me. Then when we have this question, then what is Ishvara Anugraha? Ishvara Anugraha is when you become close to Ishvara, then the grace will come. The more close you go, the more hours you spend in this, then you are getting more of his grace because you are going closer to him. So like how the object which is near a fire will get more heat if it is near than far away, like that Ishvara's grace will shower upon you as much as you get involved with him. So that's why he is saying here, I am not favoring anybody. Don't think like that. They are favoring me, then they get my grace. They become close to me. So, samoham sarvabhuteshu, I am equal to everybody. Name dveshyah asti na priyah. I don't have anybody to hate, nor do I have anybody to like. Bhajanti tumam bhaktya. So, but if you worship me with devotion, mayite teshu cha api aham. They will reside in me and I will reside in them. Like that he says. They are residing in me, meaning what? They know about me. They know the truth about me and I reside in them, meaning what? Their mind is filled with me only. There is nothing else that is filling their mind. Like that he said. Here he says, I'm equally disposed to all living beings. I'm neither inimical nor partial to anyone, but the devotees who worship me with love reside in me and I reside in them. Shloka number 30. Api chet suduracharah bhajate mamananyabhak sadhurev samantavyah samyagvyavasito hi saha. So in shlokas 30 to 34, he is talking the glory and the palam of the Nishkama Bhakti. He says that apichet, even in the condition that you are suduracharaha, you are the viliest of the sinners, bhajate mamananyabhak. If your resolve is right, that's why we talked about intent. If your resolve is right, then what happens? Sadhuhu eva saha mantavyaha. He will be considered as a righteous person only. Samyak vyavasitaha hi saha. He is the one who is properly resolved. So everywhere he is insisting about the resolve or the intent. That only decides your future. So even if the vilious sinners worship me with exclusive devotion, they are to be considered righteous because they have made the proper resolve. Shloka number 31. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktah pranashyati. So here he says that Kshipram bhavati dharmatma, very quickly they will become the virtuous person. They have been in bad ways, but they become virtuous because of their right resolve. Shashvat chantim nigacchati. So they will get the everlasting peace also. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktah pranashyati. Here he declares, Arjuna, this is my promise. No devotee of mine will perish. If you have made the right resolve, if you are on the right track, you will never ever perish. So quickly they become virtuous and attain lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that no devotee of mine is ever lost. Then shloka number 32. Mam hi parthavavyapashritya yepi syuh papayonayah striyo vaishyas tatha shudraha tepi yanti param gatim. So here he says that all those who take refuge in me, whatever their birth may be, vyapashitya, take refuge in me, syuhu may be, papayonaya, they may be people of low birth, striyaha, women, vaishyaha, mercantile people, tata shudraha, manual workers, tepi yanti param gatim. They also will go to the good destination. It appeared as though he is talking derogatory about some people, but the clarification is given that in those days the mindset was that of a ritualistic culture. In the Vedas, there are some do's and don'ts, some rules are being told. So he says here that in this path, in the Vedanta path, there is no such restriction. So don't come with that mindset. Everybody should go in this path and get the highest goal. So all those who take refuge in me, whatever their birth, race, gender, or caste, even those whom the society scorns will attain the supreme destination. 33. Kim punar brahmanah punyaha bhakta rajarshyastatha anityam sukham lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. So here he says that then what is there? Puna brahmanaha punyaha. Here he is talking about the guna brahmanas. People who are really good. He is not talking about one caste here. He's talking about people who are in sattva. They have done these works, they have purified themselves, and their guna is sattva. They have the pure mind. Those people are called the brahmanas. Bhaktaha, these devotees also, Raja Rishis, who are these Rajas and the Rishis, Tata, Anityam Asukam Lokam. Why are you then going behind this world? He describes in two words. Anityam, which is not permanent, Asukam. It never gives permanent joy. Lokam means lokam also could refer to the body. So anityam asukam, you have taken a body which is transient and it is joyless. So leave it. Imam prapya bhajasvamam. So therefore, I would say to you, Arjuna, that you engage in this path. The general translation is, what then to speak about kings and sages with meritorious deeds? Therefore, having come to this transient and joyless world, engage in devotion to me. Shloka number 34. Manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktvavam atmanam matparayanaha. So what he says here is, words describe different things. Matparayanaha means have me as my goal. With your intellect, be absorbed in me. Matmanaha, that means keep your mind on me always. And madbhaktaha, keep your heart with me always. And matyaji, whatever you do the karma yoga, your bodily things, your actions, all that you do for me only. Mam eva namaskuru, that means you will take away your ego and you will surrender to me. And then what happens to this person is, mam eva eshyasi, you will then come to me. Yuktva, united with me, evam atmanam, matparayanaha. Matparayanaha we have seen. So you will attain me only, evam atmanam, who is same as your atma. You will attain me, who is the same as your atma. The true nature of you and me are the same. So that you will attain. Like that he says and he closes. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yogo Nama Navamodhyayah. Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. I have a very brief summary if you want, very quick. So 3 topics were covered: Ishvara Swarupam, Bhakti or Upasana, and Ishvara Anugraha. So what relates to what here? Shlokas 1 to 3, Krishna introduced the topic. Jnana Mahima, that is, he's talked Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, like that he said. Then Jnana Sadhana, and he introduced the instrument, which is faith, because he kept talking about people who do not have faith, Ashraddha Danaha Purushaha. So he introduced the instrument, which is the Shraddha, and Jnana Palam. He said that Mrityu Samsara Vatmani, like that you will go beyond this birth and death, like that he said. So shlokas 1 to 3 predominantly talk about the Jnana Mahima, Jnana Sadhanam, and Jnana Palam. Then shlokas 4 to 10 is Ishvara Swarupam. There are two more terms. If you want, you take note, otherwise it's okay. Sopadika, meaning with Maya. That is the Ishvara we are talking about. And Nirupadika, like without Maya, Nirguna. So another way of describing, but you may hear it elsewhere, so I'm just mentioning it. So then he said that the person with Maya, who is Ishvara, Sarvagnaha, Srishtikarta, he is the Upadana Karanam, he is the material cause. And then he talked about all these things, Vyakta Avastha, Avyakta Avastha, manifestation, unmanifestation, all those things he talked as a quality of the Ishvara. As a quality of the Nirguna Brahman, he said, Maya Tatamidam Sarvam Jagat Avyakta Murtina. So I am pervading this entire universe as the Avyakta Murti. Then there is a Satyamitya Samandha for this world we saw. That is, there is Sat, which is the Nirguna Brahman, and this Mithya, the world is the appearance, and that was what was described in shlokas 4 and 5, where he said, Pashyame Yogam Aishwaram, see, behold the divine nature of me, where I am projecting all these things. Then he also talked about this Asanga Swarupam, Yata Kashastito Vayuhu, like that he said that how in the space the Vayu is residing. He talked about the Asanga Swarupam, which is part of the description of the Nirguna Brahman. Then shlokas 11 to 12, it talked about the Samsara Karanam, where he said that Avajananti ma mudaha. What is the cause for this samsara? Is ignorance. Avajananti. They are ignorant people. That's why they do not know better. And samsara varnanam, he also described these ignorant people. Mogasha, moga karmanaha. Like that he described the qualities of these people also in shlokas 11 to 12. In shlokas 13 to 15, he talked about the bhaktas and the bhaktis. He talked about the different kinds of bhaktis. One was using the Ishta Devata you worship, first stage. Second stage is you see in the world everything is Ishvara. The third stage is that you, in the undifferentiated oneness, you are absorbed. So that is the 3 levels of bhakti he talked about. Shloka 16 to 19, he talked about the Vibhuti. Vibhuti, we will see detail in the 10th chapter, which is the glory or the power of Ishvara. And why he talks about it also, we will see in the 10th chapter. Then shlokas 20 to 21, he talked about the Sakama Bhakta and the Bhakti and the Palan. That is, they are people who do the yajnas, they go to heaven, getting the objects of desire. And Shine Punya Matya Lokam Vishanti, like that he said, after the stock is over, they will come back into this material existence. He talked about it in shlokas 20 to 21, Sakama Bhakti and the Palan. Shloka number 22, we said was important, Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. There he talks about the Nishkama Bhakti and he makes a promise. He says that I will give you the things and I will also preserve those things as long as you are absorbed in me. When you are absorbed in me, I will do all that for you. Also, we saw another interpretation which meant I'll give you the jnana and I'll also give you the jnana nishta. The way in which you can sustain in this jnana, I will give you the means if you are devoted to me, like that he said. Then shloka 23 to 25, he talked about the Ajnana Bhakti and the Phala. He talked about the worship to other devatas, Yepi Ananya Devata Bhaktaha, and he talked about those people. And he said that based on the intent they will reach. Whatever intent they have, that goal they will reach. Like that he said. Shloka 26 to 27, he talked about Nishkama Bhakti. He said that attitude actually is Bhakti. Tyaga is Bhakti. Then he said, whatever you do, whatever you eat, like that, yat karoshi yadashnasi, like that he said, and said that you do just these simple things. And Madarpanam, we said that renounce the need for the results, renounce the mamakaram, renounce the ahanta. Though like the various levels of the Madarpanam. Shloka number 28, he talked about the Nishkama Bhakti Palam, which is what? Jivan Mukti and Videha Mukti. He said that this will be the palan if you do all these things. Shloka 29, he talked about how he treats everyone. Samoham sarva bhuteshu. I am equal to all the beings. I do not hate anybody, nor do I love anybody. It is only their act towards me, their proximity towards me decides the grace, like that he said. And then Shloka 30 to 31, he talked about the people. Even if one is very bad, he will be considered a saint. Why? Because he has done the right resolve. And he also gives a promise that Name Bhaktaha Pranashyati. Like we all would have heard of this, Dharma Rakshati Rakshitaha. So if you protect Dharma, the Dharma will protect you. Like that, if you do the right things, then that will protect you. So my Bhakta will never perish. Like that, he gave the promise. And then Shloka 32 to 33, he said that there is no bar for anyone in this path, like whatever you are, caste, creed, gender, whatever, everybody has the right to the final destination and they will reach the final destination. If you are in the right path, don't worry. Then Shloka number 34, he gave the advice and he told the means to Ishvara Prapti. He said, keep your intellect, emotion, heart, body in doing things for me. In that way, you will definitely reach me. Like that he said. So the glories of chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gita from Padma Purana. Lord Shiva said, my dear Parvati, now I will relate to you the glories of the 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. There was a town of the name of Mahismati on the bank of the Narmada river. When one Brahmana of the name Madhava lived, that Brahmana very strictly followed all injunctions of the Vedas and possessed all the good qualities of the Brahmanical class. Due to his being so learned, he would receive a lot of charity, and with his accumulated wealth, he started to perform a great fire sacrifice. For offering in the sacrifice, one goat was bought, and when they started to cleanse the goat in preparation for its sacrifice, to everyone's great surprise, the goat started to laugh in a loud voice and said, "O Brahmana, what is the benefit of performing so many fire sacrifices that simply bind us up in this wheel of birth and death? Just see my position due to my performing so many fire sacrifices." When everyone gathered there heard the words of the goat, they became curious, and the Brahmana inquired with folded hands, "How did you become a goat? In your previous life, which caste did you belong to, and what activities did you perform?" The goat replied, "O Brahmana, in my very previous birth, I was born in a very pure Brahmana family, and I very carefully performed all the ritualistic activities enjoined in the Vedas. One day, my wife wished to worship Durga so that our child might be cured of his disease. For this purpose, she requested me to bring one goat. When we sacrificed the goat at the temple of Mother Durga, the goat cursed me. 'O sinful, lowest of all, you wish to make my children fatherless? For this reason, you will also take birth as a goat.' O Madhava, then the time for my death came. I attained this body of a goat, but by the grace of Lord Govinda, I can remember my previous births. If you wish to hear one another interesting story, then I will tell you. In the place known as Kurukshetra, which is capable of giving liberation, there once lived a king of the name of Chandra Sharma, who was in the dynasty of the sun god. Once at the time of the solar eclipse, the king wished to give charity to one Brahmana. Included in that charity was a Sudra whose body was completely black. After going with the priest and taking bath in the sacred lake, putting on clean cloth and applying sandalwood, he returned to his place. With devotion, he gave charity to a qualified Brahmana. After he had presented the charity, all of a sudden, from the Sudra's heart, one very sinful Chandala, dog eater, appeared, and after a little while, a female Chandala appeared from that Sudra's body, and together they went close to the Brahmana. All of a sudden, they entered into the body of the Brahmana. That Brahmana remained undisturbed and started to chant the 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita while remembering Lord Govinda. The king, witnessing all these activities, was stunned, unable to say anything. As soon as the words of the 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita came on the lips of that Brahmana, the Vishnu Dutas appeared there and chased away those two Chandalas. At that time, the king inquired from the Brahmana, "O learned one, who were those two persons and which mantra did you chant? Which deity did you remember?" The Brahmana replied, "Taking the form of a Chandala, sin personified appeared along with the offense personified in the form of that female Chandala. At that time, I started chanting the 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which is capable of releasing one from all fearful situations. By reciting the 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, I am always able to remember Lord Govinda. Upon hearing this, the king learned the chanting of Srimad Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter from the Brahmana. When the Madhava heard this discourse from the goat, he immediately freed the goat and started to engage in reciting the 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita daily, and thus they all attained their highest goals.